I think one of the things that really has happened is that productivity has actually gone up, not down. People's commute times obviously are almost non-existent.
So our senior leaders really have spent more time during the crisis because they couldn't travel. They spent more time during the crisis on virtual calls with teams, less time in security lines, and therefore felt both more productive and also more connected with the organization.
Everybody fits in the Zoom room. They can all ask questions. It feels much more intimate, and the whole leadership team can be there.
We are having much more efficient discussions, and we're doing a better job of making sure everybody gets heard, because we're all forced to live in the same frame.
We all need to see now that we can actually bring down the number of layers in an organization. And it's coming from a more project-based way of work. So you take away some of the kind of traditional silos and hierarchical ways of work into much more cross-functional project way of working. So this changes basically the way you operate, and that's the main benefit out of the whole work from home concept.
Over time you realize that there's something missing for the way of collaboration, to see each other, to sit together in a room, to see mimic, to see how people react to whatever you say, how you propose it. And that's something where we want to get back to.
The world could go remote. But as things stand, with the current constraints in terms of technology, we believe office will still be helpful for people to learn and collaborate, particularly when it comes to strategic topics or innovation. It's still easier, particularly in a brains business, where a lot of new ideas and innovation happens when you bash great brains together, and that brainstorming creates those new ideas. It's still difficult, right? It's still difficult to do that in front of just a camera.
When we onboard new employees now, we're really thinking there we want to be very planful about bringing people onto sites, even if they start from somewhere else, and really make sure that they have a good onboarding, that they meet with lots of people.
Maybe it's all the HR people come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then you collaborate that way, or finance or whatever. And then you're going to have a core of people who we kind of call the anchor people that will be in the office most days because they need to be. And then you'll have some people that may never come in the office. So we have a lot of, different personas, as we call them, depending on the work that you do and where you're located.
The old way is where you come in, you clock your time, you work your time, and you leave again. Of course, we have ways to give people tasks to fulfill the task within that time. But if you hand over the responsibility to people to say, by tomorrow we want to have that strategy done, or by next week, and then you leave it up to them how they most effectively use their time, how much they concentrate, how much they chat with colleagues, how much they work on their own, how much collaboration they need.
So, for example, if you are a first-line manager, how do you manage an underperformer who may be sitting at home, right? How do you induct a new joiner? How do you ensure that they're provided with the right kind of opportunities, mentored so that they can grow? How do you manage them through that process?
We even more actively need to communicate, but more intentionally need to communicate and need to tell people, this is our common strategy, this is what I expect from you and your team. By that time, do you understand what I'm expecting? And what we clearly see, the biggest change is that a majority of people, over 70% now, would prefer a more flexible work model with 1 or 2 days per week, at least at home, as opposed to pre-COVID, it was exactly the other way around. So that really changed dramatically. If at all, one could say this pandemic has had also some or lessons learned, then of course it speeded up a lot of ways of thinking about how to work with each other and how flexible work models can look like. And to preserve that and develop that in the future is our main task.